Hi everyone, it's Cindy from Shenandoah Papercraft, and I have a fun one today. This is very different for me to do, and I really enjoyed it, and I might make some more. About a year ago, a creator on YouTube, Donna with Past and Pages, had a fantastic tutorial on how to make a grungy, tattered, quilted cover for her line of abandoned journals. And I fell in love with this ratty ticking cover. It looked like an old mattress I had photos of from an old ghost town that we visited. Jerry and I like to visit the Eastern Sierras and to go to places like June Lake, Mono Lake, Bristol Cone Forest, then up to Yosemite. And right above Mono Lake, there's an abandoned mining town called Bodie. Gold was discovered there in 1859, and a mill and a town sprung up in the early 1860s. Bodie grew to be about 2,000 structures and up to 10,000 people at one point, and had a reputation as a pretty wild mining town. There were families and stores and school and 2 churches, but there were also at least 65 saloons, a red light district, gambling halls, etc. Lots of miners. There were 2 major fires in Bodie, and the first one in 1892 destroyed hundreds of buildings. And then there was another fire in 1932, which pretty much destroyed the rest of Bodie. Only about 100 of those original buildings are still standing today. There was a mass exodus after the second fire, and only a handful of residents remained. All the mining operations were suspended in 1942, and the last of the residents left shortly after that. It's one of the best examples of a mining town in the West. This is my version of Donna's grungy quilt cover. On the cover here, Jerry took this photo. It's the Methodist Church in Bodie, and it's beautiful inside. It survived the fires. And I've got the Bodie State Historical Park sign down here, and just different layers, corrugated cardboard. There's some mesh, dictionary page with the words gold down the side, and some lace. And again, it's a soft cover, and it's an old ratty quilt. Let me show you in the back what it looks like. It's literally like a quilt. There's 5 layers here. First, there's a layer of thin white cotton. The second layer under here is cheesecloth. The third layer is a calico. The fourth layer is, well, I put felt. You could also use batting. And then the outside layer is the ticking. All of these have been tea stained. So let me show you what I've come up with for my Bodie tattered journal. Now here inside, everything's been kind of quilted, and it's been distressed. There's holes in it. The more it's ripped, the more I like it. This is what Bodie looks like today. There's still some of these wooden buildings left. That looks like the church right there. And some smaller houses. So that's what it looks like right now. These are people that I think might have lived there. These aren't specifically from Bodie, but they were in my stash. Here's a woman doing laundry outside of her wooden cabin, and she's in the desert. There's some mountains in the background. And this looks like they could be a member of the Bodie population. This letter here is dated 1936. So that's within the time range. And this picture here looks like a family that I say they lived there. I don't know. It's a postcard. There's no date on it. But they certainly look like they could have lived there. So on this first page here, I found this great paper, and it's just peeling paint, and it's perfect for this. This is one of the houses, the kitchen. When everybody left between the late 30s, early 40s, they left a lot of their possessions behind. They just wanted out of there. The state has turned this into a historical park, so they didn't fix any of these places up, but they've done something called arrested decay or something like that, where they are leaving things the way they are. They're not fixing them, but they are stopping it from decaying further. So you will see in the photos that we've taken what I mean by that. This is the kitchen, and I just have an old milk bottle cap right here. And this is an old article on how to preserve, fireless cooker preserving. Here's some old recipes. This one cracks me up. Francis first gave me this. Lost recipe, so Alice gave me this one. And here's another one for peanut butter cookies. And here is a picture of the kitchen. But you can see the wallpaper's all peeling off and the floor is coming up. And it's just fascinating. Now, you're not allowed to go into the kitchen. You can go a few steps into the front door, and then they have things like either wired off and you have to take pictures kind of through the chicken wire, or else they've got like a low railing you can hang over and take pictures. But you cannot walk through here. I love this building. This is an old hotel, and it's leaning, and you'll be able to see in other pictures. There's like a timber holding the side up so it doesn't fall over, but they're letting it lean. And Jerry took this. I shrunk this picture down. This is the general store, and you'll see more of that later. I also have Mining in Old Ghost Towns, kind of a book, and I'll show you more of that later as well. But it had this great map of California in it. And here is Mono Lake right here, and this jewel is where Bodie is. You've got Yosemite over here, so this is like very eastern Sierras. This line is where California cuts off, and this would be Nevada up here. So this is where Bodie is, right up there. These people, they also look like they belong there. And I lived beneath the open sky, and this is a bag. And inside, I've got this, I think it's a postcard. Yeah, it's a postcard of this woman, very faded, but she looks like she would live there too. This picture, let me take these out and show you, is the stamp mill for the gold. What they did was the miners would go and they, I don't know the proper terms, chop out big hunks of rock that had veins of gold or silver or some other mineral that they were mining. And they'd bring it to this stamp mill, and they had these big pounders that would smash the rocks down into like gravel size or even dust so they can mine out the gold and silver easily. And this old rusty car sits there in front of it. Jerry likes to take photos in black and white, as you can tell. This is a payroll of the employees of the Standard Consolidated Mining Company, which is what this building is. And on the website, Bodie.com, you might be interested in looking at it if you have a few minutes. There is a page called Ephemera. Of course, I went there, and that's why I found a lot of these little pieces on their Ephemera page, which I'm using in here. So like this is the Bodie Miner newspaper. Standard Consolidated Mining Company. It's like, I guess miners bring something in and then they decide how much it's worth. And this is a gold and silver mining company stock certificate. Over here, I actually got this tag off a pair of jeans I bought, and it was perfect. And I just covered the back side with some old newspaper article. And on the front, I put some Tim Holtz. These guys sitting around having beer after a long day in the mines. So, and this is actually part of the jeans tag, and it's just perfect. I love this. I'm gonna get some more jeans just so I could have the tags. It's on a rusted paper clip here. It wasn't all about the men. There was things to do for the ladies too. For example, the Grand Calico Ball. It was being held at the Miners Union Hall on April 26, 1904. A prize consisting of a lady's writing desk will be given to the lady with the most beautiful all calico gown. So they got their sewing machines out and their patterns out, and this is 1904, so you know the bustle air is gone. It's more straighter. Here's an example of a 1904 gown. It's just beautiful, very flowing, very pretty. And on this side, this is from an old Butterick pattern, a little earlier than 1904. This is like the late 80s. And I've just got some pattern paper on here, a little pattern ruffle, a piece of lace, old ratty lace. This is a pattern for a calico day dress, which maybe the ladies might have used for this contest. And inside I just put, these are some original calico gowns. These are a lot simpler looking gowns because remember, we're out in the desert in a mining town. So they're not the big fancy gowns like this lady. This is a 1904 fashion plate, but you can see she's much more fancy. And here's another calico gown from the era. So those were the ideas. I would have loved to see the lady that won that. Now again, here's some more rooms. This is somebody's living room. If you could see the linoleum on the floor, it's just like peeling away, and there's just plain wood slats under the linoleum. The wallpaper's all coming down. They just leave it that way. As long as the building doesn't fall down, they're just letting it be what it is. And then here's a bedroom here with their washing bowl. Here's a postcard of Bodie right here. This was the hall, I believe, that the Calico Ball was being held in. It's actually, if you can see this, I blew up one of Jerry's pictures and faded it out for a backdrop. And that is this right here. Now, the Bodie Bank was owned by a man named J.S. Kane. It survived the 1892 fire, but it burned down in the 1932 fire. All that's left is the vault with the safe in it, and everything inside that safe was untouched. Here are some original photos. I got these from Bodie.com. And here's the before the bank. And here it is after the fire. You can see it. The vault is standing, and that's Mr. Kane going in to check his money, I guess. So those were the two pictures from the fire. This is actual bank ledger from 1939 and 1940. Here is a Bodie bank check right here from that ephemera page on Bodie.com. Here's Mr. Kane standing in the front of the door of his vault here. And this is an actual 1940 check. Not from Bodie, but it fit the timeline here. Here's that building I was telling you was slanted, and they're holding it up with timbers. I think it's an old hotel, if I remember correctly. And here's somebody's house. And speaking of houses, this I made. It's a little house. Jerry took a picture of this person's front door, and then I shrunk it way down so it would fit my little house. And here's the couple that lived there. And if you lift this up, it's a pocket with some more houses in it. Here are some interior shots, and again, you can't walk into them. You are roped off or fenced off in some fashion from going inside, but you can certainly lean over and take pictures into the rooms. The schoolhouse here did not burn down, and as you can see, here's the classroom photo. These two were public domain images that I found because we didn't take any of the school. And just has a McGuffey's Reader ad, little flashcard here. This picture of children is not Bodie, but they look like they could go there. And this lady definitely looks like a school teacher to me. Her name is Mary Healy. And here's a ripped up flashcard. This is a page from the Ghost Town mining book that I owned. And this picture right here is that leaning house again, but Jerry took it from the other side. And here's one of our miners. Now, my favorite building of Bodie completely is the general store. It's amazing. This is the inside of it. Let me bring this a little closer. This is the inside of it. There's still stock left inside. And I just have some old ads from a sewing machine, some thread, and then up here is, I have a rusty safety pin through some crochet, and it's console safety pins, quality and quantity, the very best. And here is, let me take these off for a minute. This is a photo, I don't remember if I took this or Jerry did, looking into the general store window with the reflection of the sky and the desert behind us. Oops. And there's a dress form and some ladies, like here's some new patterns and some sewing things. There's some clothespins in the front window for the ladies. And these are just some things that you might have found in the general store. This store was called Boone and Wright, and had general merchandise, groceries, provisions, crockery, glassware, pure whiskey and brandies, wines, and cigars. And I just made kind of a little flip book here. These two ladies went shopping. Now that little booklet I told you about ghost town guides, here's the cover of it, held together with a clothespin. Here's Mono again. It's a drawing. I think that's Mono Lake. If it is, then Bodie would be, like right above it. Ghost Towner in Camp. He was searching for mining and household artifacts and having a cup of coffee in a comfortable place to sit. And this is one of the pages from the mining book. Talks about mines and minerals. And here's a photo Jerry took of a truck in front of these gas station pumps are right in front of the general store. We have other photos where you can see these reflected in the window. Oops, I took my clip off of there. This is another old room. Looks like checkers over here. Piano. Is that a piano? It's either a piano or a desk. I'm not quite sure. I think it's a desk. But that's another one of the old rooms. On this side, I made a collage strip and put this guy on it with his dog. And in this pocket, I've got, this of course is an outhouse. And then this is another piece from the book. Shack and shanty ghost towns sprang up near mineral areas, but when the mines shut down, the town was mercilessly left to the elements. Here's another black and white shot that Jerry made, and the interior of that house. You can see where the linoleum's coming up off of there. And this guy is sitting on that rusty car you saw in the other picture. I've got him sitting on the bumper. And this is from the book that just talks about Eastern California. Offers a lot of treasure hunting, but don't enter, don't take anything. Take your trash out with you, the usual rules. And in the very back here is a page called Tattered Dreams. And there's that mattress that inspired the whole thing with the ratty ticking mattress. And this tattered daybed down here. And again, this is the back side of it, and everything's torn so you can see the layers coming through. And there's the back of it. And I thank Donna for that inspiration to do this because I love it. It was so fun to make, and it's probably one of the quickest journals I've made because I was really into it. So I hope to be coming back with some more soon, most likely starting up on my Christmas ones next. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. If I don't see you later.